Hi guys, welcome back. Today, before I start, I'd like to say quickly a few words and a big thank you to everyone who is watching, subscribing on this channel. And it's a really great support. You've been leaving amazing comments, and I'm glad to report that we're slowly growing towards the 10,000 subscriber mark, which is a huge milestone for me and for all the work that has been done so far. So thank you very much. I also love to get subscribers' requests when it comes to recipes. Someone came to me again and asked that simple thing: can you show us how to make a great mashed potato? I love it. A mashed potato? I'm not too sure if you can do something, but went back into my book and I came across something called the Duchess potato, which is a French way of making a mashed potato. We take it, of course, to the next level. We add some things in it and we get something that's more interesting, more diverse, and it's fun to make. So this is what we're gonna see today, the Duchess potato recipe. Let's get started. The famous Duchess potatoes, or actually maybe not so famous if you haven't done them before, but it's a great alternative to mash and it's great to do something else finally with potatoes. So what are we gonna need today? Basically, you need our potatoes. They have to be the type that are really suited for mash or boiling. So there's certain kind of potatoes. I'm using Sebago potatoes, by the way. If you're in Australia, you could use other ones. Unsalted butter, eggs. I'm just gonna use the egg yolks. Salt, nutmeg, and perhaps a little bit of black or white pepper. If you're looking for the precise ingredients, it's all in the video description. I've put everything based on 1 kilo of potato, and it will give you enough mix to make maybe for 4 to 6 people, depending on how hungry you are. But that's it. Now we can get started. So let's start these Duchess potatoes. The first step, of course, is to boil your potatoes because we want to make a mash. So I'm not going to teach you much here, but I like to note a few things. As you can see here, I'm using yellow flesh potatoes because the end result is going to be nice and golden, nice and appetizing. If you take a white potato, it's going to be a bit sad and not very appealing. Always start in cold water when you do the potatoes. I've cut them to make it a bit faster, and I'm using here rock salt. You have to know that rock salt is much more salty. That salty power is huge. So a little bit of rock salt in your potatoes, put your fire on and bring it to the boil. When it boils, you're gonna leave them until they're really cooked, like really 20 to 25 minutes. My potatoes are cooked. I've removed the water, and as you can see here, they're very dry because I let them dry outside. It's very important. You want to get rid of the excess of water, and so as you can see, there's no water. They're nice and dry, they're still hot, and from here we're basically gonna start the mashing process. So use one of those things or a press or anything you have, and you're gonna start to gently mash all of your potatoes. So now that we have mashed our potatoes, the next step consists of drying our mix. So I've put my heat on a low to medium, and I'm just going to mix my potatoes like this a little bit, just to dry the last bit of water to drain out of the potato. But you don't want to cook anything, so just a little bit like that. As you can see here, that should be enough. When this is done, you put your heat back off, and we're going to incorporate the butter and the eggs. So first off, we're going to take our butter. This is again off the heat. Take your pieces of butter and you're going to gently start to incorporate your butter in your mix, like when you do a mash, little bit by little bit, until all the butter is melted and incorporated into your mix. Look at this. I've put my butter in, and when I mix my dough, exactly like the choux pastry, do you see what happened? I'm getting a bowl of potato mash. It's nice and clean, it's nice and compact. And that's all the fat of the butter, like mixing everything in. It is now time to add my egg yolks. I've got here the equivalent of 3 egg yolks. And I'm gonna put them in off the heat again, and same thing, I'm gonna gently mix all my potatoes with the egg yolk until I get a nice consistency. Done. I've got my nice golden color, and it is now that I'm gonna basically season my mix. So I'm taking some salt flakes, just a little bit. That's up to you, up to your liking. And I'm using some nutmeg because nutmeg and potatoes goes really, really well. Okay, so not too much. And from here, what I'm going to do basically, I'm going to put my heat back on very low. Okay. And slowly, I'm going to incorporate all my seasoning to make sure it's everywhere in the potatoes to have a nice taste. And make sure you taste it as well. And after 1 or 2 minutes, then you stop the heat and we're going to put everything in a piping bag, ready to put this on the baking tray and in the oven. We now have a piping bag and we're ready to lay down the potatoes. So, it's a bit hard, I'm not very skilled, this is the first time I'm doing it, so I just see you roughly, you can make or some kind of little shoe style little crowns, like this. This is what the book is saying, this is option number 1. Not bad. Or you can also make apparently little nests of potatoes that are a bit larger. Maybe I put one here, which basically you start and you leave a space in the middle. So basically you can fill after that the potato with a sauce, or you can fill it with mushrooms or anything you want. So I'm just gonna finish these little puffs, so it looks a bit more neat. Now we're gonna put this in the oven, 200 degrees Celsius or 420 Fahrenheit for about maybe 15-20 minutes until it's nice and golden brown. And that's it, we've taken the Duchess potatoes out of the oven and look at this beautiful result. I mean, honestly, they're just nice and golden on the top. They will go beautifully with any kind of side dishes, salad. You can eat them with ketchup, mayonnaise, you know, throw them on a side plate with meat and things like that. They're just really, really good. Let's have a look quickly inside to make sure it's not like dry or anything. Look at that. You see consistency? This is purely mashed potato in a little puff. But that's it, guys. Absolutely beautiful recipe. If you want to try it at home, it's really easy to make and I highly recommend it. But that's it for today. If you want, please subscribe, comment. As I always try to respond to all the comments, and I hope to see you next time on my next show. Bye bye.